The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I'm sitting here. You know what it is. I'm at Wawa, enjoying me a nice cheesecake milkshake. You know, if you haven't gone to Wawa and tried that cheesecake milkshake, I can tell you it's something different. So shout out to Wawa. But I wanted to talk about Jake Paul. Yeah, Jake Paul. You know, Jake Paul, he's scheduled to fight Tyron Woodley next month. And he's decided to bring the fight back to his hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, right? So obviously, a lot of people are going to say Jake Paul is disrespecting the sport of boxing. They're going to say he's bad for boxing. They're going to say, you know, a lot of people are going to root against Jake Paul to lose against Tyron Woodley. And, you know, understandably so. You know, he's one of those people that's very polarizing. You either love Jake Paul or you hate Jake Paul, right? But with Jake Paul, what we must understand is this, and this cannot be refuted because the facts show otherwise, that Jake Paul isn't bad for boxing, and he's not bad for fighters, but he's actually quite good for fighters. You know, the last time when he fought Ben Askren on Triller, Regis Prograis made like $750,000. He made a lot of money against, you know, Ivan Redkach. He fought a guy that is a tune-up fight, a guy that, you know, traditionally speaking, you'd make anywhere upwards of like $100,000 to maybe $300,000 max against. Prograis wound up taking home the biggest purse of that night by fighting on his undercard against a lesser opponent in Redkach. So, you know, in that instance, Jake Paul proved not to just be good for boxing as far as the exposure and the new audience and the viewership, but he also proved to be good for the fighters that associate themselves with him on his undercard. You know, Regis Prograis made a lot of money that night, and now, how great is this? And I want to give a big credit to my main man Marcus from Ohio Runs Boxing. Go check him out. One of the best social media pages in all boxing. He does a great job keeping everybody up to date with what's going on in the Ohio boxing scene. You know, Jake Paul is going to have two local Ohio fighters on the card. Two fighters I'm very familiar with. One being Montana Love. You know, too pretty Montana Love. You know, a good southpaw. Had a long, decorated amateur career. I believe he was a 13-time national champion. You know, picked up some good wins as a prospect on Showbox. Most notably when he beat Samuel Tsunami Tay. You know, good win there. He's gonna be on this card, and I feel like he's the kind of fighter that should be on a Jake Paul undercard because he's someone that you know, a lot of people would appeal to a lot of people. You know, he does a lot of things on social media with the pad routines. You know, people get excited about that. He knows how to sell himself. Solid fighter. And you also got Charles Conwell on the card. And Charles Conwell, when we talk about some of the best prospects in boxing, I think Charles Conwell is a fighter that routinely gets slept on. I mean, this is a guy that has world championship written all over him. You know, right now, as I'm making this video, it's the evening of Charlo Castaño. They're gonna be fighting for undisputed. Eventually, whoever wins this fight is gonna vacate and move up. And once that happens, once these belts fragment again, I fully anticipate that Charles Conwell will be a world champion. You know, he's someone that comes to the ring with a lot of intelligence. He knows how to break fighters down in a very intelligent way, and he's a very good fighter. You know, very good fighter, Charles Conwell. And these are two fighters that have fought on Showtime and Ring City USA and platforms like that. But those are only platforms that they have a cap on the kind of exposure they can give you. You know, they're only gonna reach a certain amount of people that really watch boxing. As to where now, because of Jake Paul, these guys are gonna be in front of a lot of people. They're gonna have a chance to create a lot of new fans, which means that they're gonna have a chance to make more money for themselves, which means that a whole bunch of opportunities could happen for these two fighters should they put on a good performance. The platform is there, the eyeballs will be there. Now it's up to the fighters to deliver and take advantage of the eyeballs that will be there. So, you know, I just don't understand how people can say Jake Paul is bad for boxing when, one, he brings a lot of eyes to the sport. Two, he can actually fight, unlike Logan. And three, you know, these guys are getting paid and paid really well. So I wanted to get my thoughts out there on that. You know, best wishes to Charles Conwell. Best wishes to Montana Love on the Jake Paul Tyron Woodley undercard. Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley, I'll talk more about that later on because I do think it's an interesting matchup. But I didn't want to talk about that because I'm getting sick and tired of people saying that Jake Paul isn't good for boxing when I'm seeing Regis Program make upwards of $650,000 to $700,000 for fighting a tune-up fight. And I'm seeing guys like Charles Conwell and Montana Love, now they're going to be on the undercard. He's putting local fighters, guys that probably can't sell guys that can probably only sell a certain amount of tickets in their hometown. Now he's putting them on a bigger platform, supporting local boxing. And that's what you want to do. You know, how many times we see fighters in the professional ranks, they get big and they win world titles and they don't even come back and fight in their hometown. Jake Paul's fighting in his hometown and he's putting on some of the best local fighters that they got in the Ohio area. So much respect to him. I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys leave your comments down below. Take time to subscribe. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just kidding, Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.